Hey guys, Lewis here. So, is Japanese Pod 101 worth it? Are you actually going to become fluent in Japanese if you use Japanese Pod 101? So, in this Japanese Pod 101 review, I'm going to go on the website. As a matter of fact, I am on the website here already. And I'm going to tell you, basically, I'm going to answer 3 questions. And keep in mind that I've actually been using Japanese Pod 101 for many years. And now I don't need to use it anymore because I'm actually fluent in Japanese. I can have very good conversations. And, I did other things apart from Japanese Pod 101. But Japanese Pod 101 is definitely, in my opinion, the best resource if you're looking for like an all-in-one package to get to a pretty advanced level in Japanese. So I'm on the website here, and there are 3 questions I'm going to answer. The first is Japanese Pod 101 worth it? Because, you're going to pay some money, and is it actually worth it? Is it actually worth your money? The second thing is, how efficient is it? How much time, how many months, how many years is it going to take before you can actually have fluent conversations, before you're actually fluent in Japanese just by using Japanese Pod 101? What do you have to do? And the third question is, how can you get the biggest discount possible on Japanese Pod 101? And I'm going to show you little tricks, but essentially JapanesePod101.com runs these discounts. As you can see here on my page, they're saying 50% off, but this is only for the 20-month premium and premium plus plans. So it's always different, like from week to week, from day to day sometimes. And I'm going to show you how you can actually guarantee that at any moment in time, no matter when you actually watch this video, you actually get the best discount possible for that moment in time. So the long story short for this one is you can actually click on the link in the description. I'll put a link that you can click, and you're going to be led to the website, and the discount will be automatically applied. But stay tuned, because at the end of the video, I'm going to run you through the different sort of the different subscription plans, and why you should actually not get the most expensive one, because I don't believe it's very useful for most people. All right, so let me answer the first question. Is Japanese Pod 101 worth it? My answer is absolutely yes. If you're looking for an all-in-one library of content, of lessons that can get you from, absolute beginner to an advanced level, absolutely. You don't need to look anywhere else. And my reason for doing this is, with, my own experience, I found it incredibly helpful to have these lessons here. Let me take you through the lesson library. So here, I think I have it set. There you go. I have it set to classic mode. This is the one I like. They have a new mode that I don't really like. I've been using it for many years, so I'm still stuck on the classic mode. I chose to do this, but essentially, you can actually choose your own level here. There are many levels, from absolute beginner to advanced. And absolute beginner, I feel like you don't necessarily need to go through it. You can start at the beginner level, but essentially each lesson, let me actually show you a lesson. Let's click on study now. And each lesson it's not like in a textbook. It's centered around conversations. Japanese Pod 101 is like Japanese podcast 101. So each lesson is actually a podcast centered around a conversation, as you can see here. So, okay, this one, I don't have the paid plan right now, because, I'm done with Japanese Pod 101. I've actually done everything I wanted to do. So I'm going to try to actually show you a sample lesson. Let me go to the intermediate level. And the intermediate level is really good, actually. There you go. Season 1. Let's go to the third, the first lesson. Okay, we're not going to be able to see it, so let me just walk you through it. But essentially, there's going to be a conversation here, line by line, and you can actually listen to that lesson. So if you don't actually want to sit down and study Japanese, it's perfect for that. You can actually listen to it while in your car, while commuting, while working out. You have the app as well, where you can download each lesson for if you want to consume it, offline, but you can always consume it, online if you have, 4G or 5G or whatever. It doesn't actually consume a lot of data. So you can do that, listen to the conversation, and what's going to happen is that after the conversation is played to you, you'll get the English translation, and you'll get at least two hosts. One of them is like an American, like an English speaker. The other host is going to be a Japanese speaker, and they're going to discuss every single point, like vocabulary, grammar, in detail, all the stuff that you had in that conversation that you need to understand. And I feel like this is immensely useful because most textbooks are usually centered around, grammar points and, a lot of drills, a lot of that kind of stuff. But Japanese Pod 101 actually gets you to listen to real Japanese. You can actually be immersed in that content from the get-go. And this is really unique because a lot of websites that have resources like that don't have as many lessons. I mean, let me just go back and let me show you. Here you have 5 levels, absolute beginner to advanced, and 5 levels, and each level has hundreds of lessons. And each lesson is like 20, 24 minutes. It's pretty long. There's a lot of content. There's no other website, there's no other resource that can allow you to have such comprehensive content at every single level. It just doesn't exist. They've been doing that for many years, and so they've accumulated hundreds and hundreds of hours of Japanese content. All right, so this is the typical sort of workflow, sort of the studying flow that you're going to go through if you actually choose Japanese Pod 101. You'll do the seasons. So there's for intermediate, there's a season 1, 2, and 3, and so on. You'll go through every lesson. You can listen to them. My advice personally is that the lessons are not enough. You can't just like consume them just like that and expect to actually become fluent in Japanese. What you should do is you'll see the, line by line, there are phrases, and you should actually save the phrases and the words that you don't understand in a flashcard application like Anki, for example. I have my Anki application here. You can see I'm studying a bunch of stuff here, and you should actually input your Japanese Pod 101 sentences and vocabulary in Anki, which is a free app. I could always make another video on this, but I think this is when you're probably at like the beginning, intermediate level. You should start putting those words into Anki so that you can remember them better. The other alternative as well is that instead of having to input all those words and phrases in an external application like Anki, you can actually, you'll have all the vocabulary here, and there will be a button saying, add this word to your flashcards. And Japanese Pod 101 has a flashcard system. If you go to here, vocabulary flashcard, there you go. I'm going to click here, and okay, it's going to tell me to pay because this is a paid feature, but that's what you're going to get if you have a premium account. So, okay, before talking about pricing, I want to talk about how efficient Japanese Pod 101 is. What level can you expect, and how much time? It depends on your time investment, but essentially, if you go, let me show you all of the levels here. But essentially, if you consume, you don't need to go to advanced, but by the time you're upper intermediate, you're going to be able to have conversations pretty well because of the level and the depth of vocabulary and just the level, the amount of immersion that you will have got. So my guess would be that, it's sort of subjective, but if you do, let's say, 2 lessons a day and you do the flashcards as well, I would say probably after a year, you're gonna be able to have basic conversations where you can actually have fun. Like you go on a call with someone in Japanese. You can talk about stuff that's fun, but you're not completely fluent. I think after 2 years of really applied learning, just using the whole library here and the flashcards, you can actually have conversations at a, let's say, B1 level, which is I think a pretty good level to be at. I think this would be like minimal professional proficiency. So you can actually work in a Japanese company. It's going to be a little bit hard, but you get the picture. It's actually a pretty good level if you want to make friends and speak to them in Japanese. So there you go. This is what I would say you could expect. And now let's talk about the pricing. So how can you get the best price possible for Japanese Pod 101? I'm going to show you the pricing, the subscription plans here, and there are 3 of them actually. Compare plans. And again, I said it in the beginning of the video, but there are different, discounts that are, run on Japanese Pod 101. Here, it's just, kind of random that I got 55%. It's the last day today. And so, 55% is really the maximum that you can get. Usually, I don't remember seeing anything higher than that. And keep in mind that this is for 24 months, so 2 years of the premium or premium plus plan. So if you want to actually just do 1 year, which is possible, and it's going to be less expensive, and you want to get a price like, discount like 55% or whatever the maximum is for that, 12-month subscription, there's a link in the description that you can click, and it will lead you to the Japanese Pod 101 website with that discount automatically applied. So, okay, now let's discuss the subscription plans. So there are basically just 3 plans: basic, premium, and premium plus. Basic is just too basic. Essentially, to me, the main sort of thing that it does not have, the main feature that it does not have and that I find critical is line-by-line audio. So, in those lessons I showed you, there are multiple lines, every line of the conversation that you're going to listen to, and it's not possible for you to actually play each line individually if you have the basic plan. The second thing that's kind of a bummer for me, it's not really a problem, but because I use Anki for flashcards. But if you have the basic plan, you're not going to have access to the flashcards. Let me show you flashcards. Yeah, so you don't get access to the flashcards. So now the Premium Plus plan, the highest, the most expensive one, is a little bit special because it has all of the features that Premium has, but it also gets you access to a teacher. It's not actually a teacher that you're going to talk with on the, on a call. It's actually a teacher that's going to give you homework. They're going to tell you, okay, do this lesson, do that lesson. And you can send some, written stuff to that teacher and they're going to correct you. It's more of like a coach, kind of. I would not necessarily recommend that for most people because it's a lot more expensive. It's twice as expensive as the premium plan, and I actually tried the premium plus plan for my mom. Actually, I got her the premium plus plan, and she just wasn't consistent with it, and she didn't necessarily want to follow what the teacher said. So I don't feel like it's really worth it. If you have a lot of autonomy, you can learn on your own. The plan I would recommend, and the one I got, is a premium plan. Premium plan is nowhere near as expensive as Premium Plus, and it has line-by-line audio dialogue, which is really great. And it also has a bunch of other features that you will not get with Basic, and it has the flashcards as well. So this is the one that I would recommend. If you want Premium Plus, you really want to coach a teacher. By the way, it's going to be a Japanese person. Then, that's fine. Go for it. Personally, I don't really think it's worth it. And the basic plan is just too, restrictive. So the premium plan, in my opinion, is the best one. So that's pretty much it for this Japanese Pod 101 review. Basically, Japanese Pod 101, in my opinion, is worth it. So if you have any comments, please leave them in the description, in the comments below. I'll see you later.